Homeland Security is running out of time to secure funding. Democratic senators blocked a bill for it yesterday. NTD's Daniel Monahan has more on that, plus reactions from lawmakers.
All other government agencies have been fully funded through September, but money for DHS got held up after Democrats demanded reforms in its immigration enforcement operations. 52 senators voted to advance a full-year spending bill, not enough to overcome the 60-vote threshold, while 47 senators opposed it. Senator John Fetterman broke ranks with his party to support the measure. Fetterman says shutting DHS down has zero impacts for ICE, which he says already has $75 billion in funding from the Big Beautiful Bill.
So what it will impact is that we'll shut down important parts of DHS, whether that's FEMA, whether that's the Coast Guard.
The deadline to fund DHS is actually tonight, but Congress is off all next week for the President's Day holiday. Many senators left after casting their final votes for the week. GOP leader John Thune vowed to call them back to Washington if Democrats strike a deal with the White House. Thune says Republicans made concessions in the bill, speaking on Fox News.
It was a bipartisan bill, had reforms in it. It had body cameras in it. It had de-escalation training in it. It had more oversight of ICE activities in it. These were reforms that the Democrats had requested, agreed to, and then walked away from.
Nearly all DHS workers will remain on the job, but many won't get paid until Congress passes a funding bill.
I don't think it's good politics for anybody, particularly when their message they're sending right now is we're okay with defunding law enforcement, we're okay with defunding the police.
Democrats explain their position.
Funding for ICE and the Department of Homeland Security should not move forward in the absence of dramatic changes that are bold, meaningful, and transformational.
This vote today asked a simple question. Will you rein in ICE's abuses, or will you vote to extend the chaos?
Their demands include stricter use of force standards, clearer identification for DHS officers, judicial warrants, and limits on what they describe as racial profiling. Other agencies that would be affected by a shutdown include the Transportation Security Administration and the Secret Service. Daniel Monahan, NTD News.
As the Department of Homeland Security moves toward a possible shutdown, Secretary Kristi Noem is making a case that its funding must be continued. Noem in San Diego touting the department's efforts to stop hundreds of thousands of pounds of lethal drugs entering the U.S. Here are the details.
Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem highlighting what she says the Trump administration has done to make America safe again.
We got everybody?
Noem speaking to the press in a San Diego vault she said contains more than 1.7 billion lethal doses of seized narcotics.
The vault that we've toured today holds 188,218 pounds of seized illicit drugs.
Noem saying under the second Trump administration, fentanyl trafficking alone has dropped by 56%.
But also right here in front of you, just in this bin in front of you, you see enough lethal doses of fentanyl that would kill 10 million Americans.
Noem also says Border Patrol has released 0 illegal immigrants into the U.S. for 9 straight months.
We're concerned about the Department of Homeland Security not being funded. In fact, I think it's the wrong message to send to the world at this point in time.
Democrats are demanding better identification for ICE agents and other changes to immigration enforcement, including the use of judicial warrants.
When you think about it, every other portion of the federal government has been funded except Homeland Security. That's telling the rest of the world the Democrat Party doesn't think that protecting America is safe.
Noem also saying it isn't just drug and immigration enforcement that will be affected.
But only 11% of that bill is ICE. The rest of it is FEMA, which is responsible for disaster response, for protecting our critical infrastructure. Other things that wouldn't be funded is TSA. The security at all of our airports is in jeopardy because they've refused to fund the Department of Homeland Security.
Noem pointing out this comes on the heels of a 43-day government shutdown during which TSA employees weren't paid, and also saying the U.S. Secret Service and the Coast Guard would be impacted.
This department was created recognizing that we are vulnerable to terrorist attacks and that American homeland needs to be funded and focused on keeping us safe within our own borders.
Right now, it looks likely the DHS will shut down by this weekend. With the House and Senate adjourning for recess, lawmakers won't get another chance to revisit the issue for another 10 days.
Noem also coming out in support of the Save America Act. She says America's